Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to another episode of Free International Webinar brought to you by the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. We are pleased to have you join us for the 337th episode and for taking part in tonight's session. And we are coming to you live via StreamYard on Facebook and YouTube platform. Thank you all folks for finding time and attending tonight's or today's webinar. We hope you will enjoy the program tonight or today, and if you do, please let us know. If we are just meeting, I am Gafor Impanimbang, an assistant professor 4 from Adyong Memorial Polytechnic State College here in Lanao del Sur, Philippines, and a proud member of the Institute of Global Professionals, which is sponsoring this webinar series. And I am so privileged to be your host for today's or tonight's webinar. The Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP, is an ISO certified training institute and a globally recognized multi-awarded international professional organization. We are a nonprofit training institute dedicated to making it possible for anyone to learn anything and anywhere for free online at any subject level. Here at IGP, we provide free online and offline learning platforms for education and skills training for both students and professionals like you, backed by international speakers and coaches from all over the world. True to our mantra, feed your skill, it is our mission to empower people by providing an overall learning experience that meets their needs and helps them to achieve life goals. We believe that free education, more than anything, has the power to break through boundaries and transform lives. I will quickly go through some points to note so we all have a seamless webinar experience for tonight. Our speakers tonight will have the floor for about 45 minutes in their presentation. After that, we'll conduct a short question and answer session. So if you have any content related questions you would like to ask to the speaker during the webinar, please type them into the chat window and we'll address them during the Q&A. And we would like to get through as many of your questions as possible. Throughout the presentation, you will see a couple of questions pop up on your screen that would allow you to get engaged with us while the presentation is going on. And we appreciate you guys answering those questions coming in. Today's or tonight's session is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. That's Institute of Global Professionals. We are using our FB page and our YouTube account to store webinar recordings and make them available for public viewing. After this session, we will be posting this recorded webinar on our YouTube channel for you to watch a replay in case you want to review anything. And we welcome you to revisit the content yourself and share it with your colleagues. If you like this program, smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way, you'll be notified every time we upload a new webinar video every single day. Please stay with us till the end for you to get your free e-verified certificate of participation. The link will be provided down the comment section below together with the certificate code shortly before this webinar ends. And join us also on our exciting and interactive online quiz game competition happening after the speaker's presentation. And if you wish to join with the quiz game competition as player, just go to slido.com using your own device and browser and type in the event code, which will be displayed in the screen just before the quiz game begins. Or, better yet, just scan the QR code using your mobile phone. Lucky top 10 players who would have the most correct answers and fastest response time will receive a quiz completion certificate from IGP. All right? And if you think this program is useful, please show us your support by sharing this webinar program to your social media communities. Keep on inviting your friends and colleagues you care about so they can benefit from these programs too. Success is a journey. I bet you have heard this phrase over and over again. But what does it mean? And why do people emphasize the journey instead of the destination? Why am I asking these questions? Because this is exactly the topic that we're going to uncover for tonight's or today's webinar. It's the journey to lead yourself and others to success. And we are so lucky to have with us two brilliant motivational speakers from India and South Africa to share with us their knowledge and expertise on the subject matter. So I would now like to welcome Mom Judika Mahanta from India, and we've got Mom Daisy Lifiana from South Africa. I hope she will catch up tonight, as she has not yet confirmed if she'll be joining us for tonight. All right. So without further ado, we will turn the time over now to our first speaker for tonight's or today's event. She is actually an entrepreneur, a consultant, a public relations, both in media and marketing. She's a community activist, advocate for women and girls. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Mom Jyotika Mahanta, all the way from India. Welcome to the show, Mom Mahanta. Mom
Hello,
Jyotika Mahanta.
namaste, and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Gofur sir, for giving such encouraging introduction.
It's my
I'm
pleasure.
so I'm so glad to be back to this platform. I remember last time we had similar kind of a session, which was quite learning for me as well as for all the audience who have participated. So I look
Yes,
forward for similar kind of an experience today. And the topic which you have already explained to us, in fact, I was about to start with the same saying that you have said, that success is not about destination, it's about the journey, right?
yes, it's about journey
And
rather.
unfortunately, most of the people, they tend to be so focused on the destination that they tend to ignore the journey. So it's very
Yes,
important, it is very much necessary that we learn to enjoy the journey while we are focusing on our destination or our goal. Even Indian ancient epics or our Vedas also say the same thing. The entire life is a journey. So enjoy the journey. Don't only wait for the destinations.
very well said. So that means you can now get straight to the presentation, as I'm sure our live audience can hardly wait for your presentation. I mean, the knowledge and wisdom that you're about to share with them.
Sure. I'm just going to my PPT now.
Sure, you can now start sharing your screen. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So
Can
I
you
think
see it?
yes, we are now seeing your screen, and I think you're good to go.
Yeah. So so the topic, the journey to lead yourself and others to success. But sir, I can't see you. Is it okay? I can see only my slides.
Oh, sure. But I think you have to maximize first your presentation for our live audience to see it clearly. Okay,
Okay.
there you go. There you go.
But I can't see any of you. Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay, right. So, myself, Jyotika, I'm from India. As sir has already introduced you about me, I am basically a media and marketing professional. I work as a consultant. I also run my small, entrepreneurial venture called Bollywood Couch, which is an online platform. We do media, marketing, and PR. Also, digital media for our clients that we handle. We handle various Bollywood celebrities. I'm sure you all will be aware about Bollywood because India is mainly known for Bollywood and all that larger than life concept in and around Bollywood. And with this pandemic, the entire focus have shifted to digital platform or digital mode. So as a result, or to sustain in this kind of a pandemic situation, we had no choice but to shift our focus from print or offline to online mode. So we have also shifted ourselves to digital portal or digital mode. And today, as on today, we have been handling many clients which are from corporate fields, which are individual and Bollywood celebrities. So today I'm going to share my journey as well as my learning, whichever I have gathered in these years of, in this 40 years of my life. I'm not sure if I'm the right person to talk about it yet, or I cannot claim that I'm successful yet because I'm still trying to strive more or achieve more. But I can bet that I have learned a lot. Especially in a place like India, or especially a place like Mumbai, where life is all about like survival of fittest. The moment you step out of your residence, you'll have to struggle to, you know, uh, get a vehicle or get a bus on board to catch the local train, or for anything that you want to do in a place like Mumbai, you will have to it's not a cakewalk. You will have to struggle a lot. So people say, like, if you can survive in a city like Mumbai, you can survive anywhere in this world. So I'm being very fortunate enough that I'm a Mumbaiker and I could sustain for so many years and I could make my own mark. So here is my story, and here is what I'm going to share with you all. So when we have then we have set our goals, or before we set our goals, or before we try to achieve anything, we need to have certain prerequisite. Prerequisite in a sense that there are certain parameters that one needs to follow in life. As they say, as our ancient epics say, that discipline is very important in life. We need to discipline ourselves. We need to follow certain parameters in our life. We need to have our ethics right. We need to have our own like conception right in place. And that is the prerequisite. And then I feel that we should set our goals. So once we discipline ourselves, we need to have a vision. We need to understand, we need to see a future story for ourselves. We need to see where we would like to see ourselves 5 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, or 15 years down the line. Nowadays, people say that with all digital mode of accessibility, everything is very short term. Even all the advertisement that we get to see on a screen, it will give you a deadline, like 14 days lose your weight, in 2 weeks you will get healthy hair, in 2 weeks you will get a bright skin. So in this kind of a situation where everyone is pressurizing us to be quick, or to lead a very pace or very fast life. Even the fast food, that concept of fast food also came in that same line, and people are forcing us to lead a very quick kind of a life. But somehow I feel that even if we are living a very fast forward life, but we need to sit quietly, we need to sit with ourselves, and we need to set our goals. And there should be two kinds of goals. One is short term and the other one is long term. When you say short term, it is not something like 1 year or 2 year, but it is 5 years is minimum required to understand where you have achieved, how much you have achieved, and how far you are yet to go. So for me, it's short term means 5 years and long term means 10 plus. So once we see the vision, once we set our goals right in place, we also need to create the roadmap. when it is, when we talk about the roadmap, we again talk about our, like, 5 years down the line. Like, when I was a student, I had created my first roadmap where I would like to see myself 5 years down the line. As soon as I complete my studies, I wanted to see myself as an executive or as a corporate executive. In 10 years down the line, I used to see myself climbing the ladder of success and, becoming a manager or having my own team. So that in the same way, we need to set our goals, we need to create a roadmap. Along with the roadmap, the milestones are very important, because milestones is something which actually help us to assess whether we are on the right track or not, or whether we have been able to, achieve the certain parameters or certain distance that we have kept for ourselves. Meanwhile, clarity on thoughts or clarity on vision and goals are also equally important, because, in today's kind of scenarios where we are, like, we are exposed to so many things, we are exposed to so many career options, we are flooded with options. When it comes to your food habits also, we are flooded with options, whether you want to have Indian or, like, Thai or Mexican or American or South Indian, etc., etc. In the same way, everywhere we are flooded with options. If I want to go to buy anything in the market, I will find minimum 100 similar items. So in this kind of, situation, it is very, very important, and it is very much needful to have a clarity on your thoughts, clarity on your vision, and clarity on your goals. Most of the time, I have seen people that, whenever they face any kind of challenges, they try to drift away from their goals, or they try to drift away from their visions or from the targets that they have kept for themselves. They try to deviate, they try to twist it. The moment there are some challenges are facing, they will just twist it. Instead of A, they will go via B route. Instead of B, they will go via C route, so that they can avoid the challenges. But mind it, challenges are something which are very, very important. They are the biggest teacher for us, which are going to be our experience in coming days. Same time, organize our mind, follow a routine, remain focused. Those are also equally important. These are very basic things that I'm talking about, because until and unless we don't set the basic rights, there's no point talking ahead or going ahead. The base is very important. The structure is very important, on which you are going to create your life or your career or your entire, road. So it is very important to have the basics clear, basics in place, and then you have the strength to stand. Then you have the strength to face any kind of hurdles or any kind of challenges, and then you can actually step ahead or march ahead in your life. So while doing that, we also need to be a very good human. Until and unless we are not good human, we are not empathetic towards others' problem or towards others' issues or towards other challenges, we will not able to go a long distance in life. Because human, the community, we all live in a community. We are, after all, a social animal. We cannot live an isolated life. Though they say that, success on the top, you are always alone when you are at the top. But to achieve that top position, you will have to go with a team. Nobody can achieve anything alone in life. Everywhere it is a teamwork. It does not matter today whether you have your team or not, but you have your family with your support. You have your friends who are backing you or supporting you. You have your own community people, your building people, your society people, your colony people. Everyone is behind you, and that's why, even if you feel that you are alone, you don't have a team, but you could still go ahead in life. And then, the last point on this slide, I would like to talk about find motivation and keep going. Life is quite challenging. Life is not a cakewalk, that we all know. And when we are witnessing a pandemic situation like this, where 2 years of our life have gone to, I won't say that it has gone to waste, because we have, learned a lot during this pandemic situation, but we have also faced lots of hurdles. Many people have lost their near and dear ones. They have lost their family members. Many people have become orphans. Many people have lost their job. many people have faced many financial hurdles, like, they could not manage to pay their EMIs. As a result, they've lost their home, they have lost their cars, and many things. And number of things have been happening in and around us. So in this kind of crisis, or in this kind of a negative situation, it is very important to find motivations. We need to keep on motivating ourselves, we need to keep on rejuvenating ourselves so that we can keep going. So when it comes to me, I do meditate every day. I sit quietly. I try to connect with that universal power, that supreme power. And then I try to inherent that positive energy and that healing energy, so that I don't remain disturbed, and I can remain focused, and I can keep going. So the other thing is, other most important thing is that before we go to lead others, we need to lead ourselves first, right? And it is not only leading ourselves, but we need to lead ourselves effectively. As they say, examples are better than precepts, right? If we can set an vision, or if we can set an example, then it is easier for others to follow us. But if we only talk and do nothing, only keep on advising others, then there is no point. So we need to lead ourselves effectively, so that people has no choice but to follow you. So how do you lead yourself effectively? By taking control on your thoughts. As I already said, that we are flooded with options, we don't need to get deviated all the time. Because since we are flooded with options, it does not mean that once we set our goals, and once we are facing some kind of hurdles, we shall leave it in between, and then jumping for another thing. That jumping jack, the way we call it, they cannot manage to achieve what they are bound to. So you will have to be static, you will have to be stable, you will have to be focused, and you will have to be confident and content. So when it comes to your thoughts, if you are not confident, if you are not content with your thoughts, then there are chances that you will jump from one place to other, to other, to other. And then we need to also be proactive. Proactive in the sense, we'll have to take initiative in every situation. It does not matter even if you were stuck in a negative situation, but still remain proactive, remain active to take initiative, so that you can bring light. It is very important that when we are stuck in a negative surroundings, or in a very negative kind of a situation, or in a crisis, we need to find a way out. And there is always a way out for those who keeps on trying. And the other thing is, like, we need to keep our cup empty. There was a very popular story where one disciple was meeting a monk, and that disciple wanted to learn something more from the monk, and he said, "Okay, I'm here to meet you and learn something new." Then the monk only told him one thing, that before you learn anything from me, you will have to make your cup empty. Because it is very important that we remain learner throughout our life. We need to remain inquisitive. We need to keep ourselves open to learn new things and absorb more, and we need to be adaptive. Most of the time, after attaining a certain status, or certain designation, or a certain positions, people started thinking that we know everything. Now there is nothing left that I don't know. There are many people that I have met in my personal life, who says, "Yeah, I know everything. Yeah, I know about it." Before I open my mouth, they will say, "Yeah, yeah, I know what you were about to say. Yeah, I know where are you heading. I know what you are going to talk." But come on, we all come from different backdrop, we all come from different journeys. So our exposure, our experience, our learnings are always different. So it is always better to give a patience ear to your surroundings, or your teammates, or people around you. It could be your father, who is highly experienced. You can really count on his experience. It can be your sister or brother who belongs to a different domain, and since they are from a different domain, that is why their takeaways are going to be different than yours. So if you don't keep your cup empty, how are you going to absorb new things? So be a learner and keep on learning new thing every day. And the other point is that prioritize personal growth, even if it is a teamwork, as I have already said, even if it is proven that no one can sail alone. We need a team, we need a backup, we need a support. But even if we have a team, even if we have our goals set as a team or our target set as a team, but we need to have our own personal goals that should be aligned to your team goals, but you should also you know assess how far you have gone to help your team, how far your contribution has helped your team. At the same time, we should be also focused on our personal growth. As I said, 5 years down the line, where do you want to see yourself? 10 years down the line, where do you want to see yourself? If we are not aligning to that 5 years or small term or 10 years growth, then tomorrow there are high chances that you will get demoralized, you will get demotivated, and that will make you frustrated. So personal growth is equally important with your team's growth. See, when it comes to success or our journey, the core thing is communication. Nowadays, in this digital kind of a world, when we are glued to our mobile phones or our laptops or our iPads or our tabs, or we have forgotten the basic human traits. We are meant to communicate. We need to express our feelings. There is no point hiding your emotions. There is no point hiding your expressions. There is no point hiding your pains. So communication is very important. So communicate. You will have to communicate with everyone from top to bottom. You will have to communicate with the office boy or the supporting staff till the boss that you are reporting to, because without communication, you cannot create an impact. In my personal life, I would like to share, this Indian kind of a mindset. In India, when it comes to boys, or when it comes to when we have a boy child in the family, we have a tendency to tell him or stereotype him in such a way that boys, they don't cry. Boys, they don't cry. Boys, they don't feel sad. Those kind of a notion that we tend to implicate on our boys, on our men. But when it comes to my son, even if I have myself witnessed him when we are in our native, elderly people are stopping him from crying, saying that, "Are you are a boy? How can you cry?" But I always make it a point to communicate to him or tell it to him that, "Son, if you feel like crying, please do cry. If you're feeling sad, if you want to shed your tears, please do that. Do not do not fall under that false notions that boys or men cannot cry." It is very important to express your emotions. It is very important to express or divulge yourself, because that is how we just put the toxic out from our system. So if you feel like crying, well and good, cry. I'm not going to judge you that being a boy, how can you cry? The other people are doing it, so that is their job. Just ignore it and just do whatever you feel like doing. So communicate, and communicate. You have no other options than communication to everyone surrounded by you. And then the manage and lead through performance, set example and motivates others to pursue. As I said, examples are better than precepts. There is no point only talking. We will have to set example through our actions. People also say that action speaks louder than your voice. So the moment you act, the moment you do your job well, or you set an example for others, then it is easier for your team or your juniors or your dependents to follow you. And when it comes to, suppose you are a team leader, when you are heading your team, it is very much important to use inspirational or developmental feedback. It is very easy to judge someone. It is very easy to criticize someone, but it is equally equally, difficult to appreciate or admire others' effort. You know, yeah, it is bound that, people are bound to make mistakes, or to are is human, right? So it does not matter, even if your friend or your kids or your parents of your siblings or your teammates are doing some mistake, or they had some fault, but you will have to find something positive in that, and you will have to see to it so that you can inspire them by giving developmental feedback. So, and the other thing is that, uh, we also, unknowingly or unknowingly, we tend to develop a fear for failure. We don't dare to try new things, because we tend to create a comfort zone in and around ourselves, that we don't want to break that. We don't want to set ourselves beyond that comfort zone, and we don't want to try new things because we are afraid of failure. I'll just share an example of a friend of mine. She's a very good professor. She's a professor here in Mumbai. During this crisis, during this pandemic situation, she happened to lost her job, because most of the education institutes were they're shaking this, they were just sacking their staff. So she is one of them. So that time I have told her that you have got so much of experience, you have got so much of wisdom, why don't you use it in some other ways? You need to be open about new things. You have already done teaching for so many years now, maybe it's a call from the nature that you need, it is high time that you need to try other field. But she was quite adamant. She said, no, Jatika, I only enjoy teaching and I want to speak to my profession. It does not matter that today I do not have a job, but I will take up some new course, I'll do my PhD or my research work, but I will come back. Okay, it is I'm not judging her, but I'm just citing her, that comfort zone or that mental block is an example for you, so that you understand that we need to remain versatile, we need to be adaptive. Today it does not matter which field you are, but tomorrow, if there is something happened wrong, you need to be open to adjust or adapt yourself in other kind of an environment, or other kind of a job, or other kind of a situation, and so that you can keep going. It's very, very important. This is what we have learned during this crisis. As they always say, that we always need to surround ourselves with positive people, especially people whom you look up to, because there's so much to learn from them. I'm fortunate enough to work with the Japanese, and I really look up to them. There's so much, they are the workaholic, class. My boss, Takasima Yasu, said, he is someone who can work non-stop for 4 to 5 days at a stretch. you know we tend to, we are quite young compared to him, but we tend to feel tired, towards the end of the day. By the EOD, we tend to feel very tired. That tiredness shows on our face. But if we have a meeting at, say, during this same time at 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. or 7 p.m., you will see him with the same kind of energy that he has in the morning. So I just look up to him, and I wish to learn so many new things from him. How to keep yourself so much energetic. And he gives equal kind of importance to all the clients that he meets. Does not matter if he's meeting 20 clients on a day. Whenever he comes to India, he comes with a very packed schedule. So he needs to meet 15 to 20 people on a day. But he will greet everyone with that same kind of enthusiasm, with that same kind of energy. The person that he's meeting first in the morning, the same kind of treatment he is going to offer to the person that he's meeting last. It is so admiring. I sometimes feel, my God, how does he manage it? And I really wish that I can adopt that capacity from him, and I can do the same to my clients. So, since we are talking about how to lead ourselves and how to guide others, I would also like to say that, adaptive leadership, that I have already said, we need to remain open. We need to be versatile. We need to We don't need to have any kind of mental blockage that I want to just pursue this field. I just want to make career only in this. We need to be open about all the sectors across ourselves, because today whatever may sound relevant today, whatever may sound in demand tomorrow, it may not remain in demand. We have already experienced many things. Since I'm from media, I'll cite an example of newspapers. In Times of India, the biggest media conglomerate of India. you know I was an ex Times of India, so we used to say that we are the big father of media in India. But during this COVID crisis, the housing colonies, they stopped newspaper entering into the colonies. They stopped distributing, getting newspaper to your flat. So this 2 years time was more than enough for people to change their habit. There was again another say in India that, Times of India is not a newspaper, it's a habit. People have developed a habit of reading the newspaper while sipping their morning tea. So once you develop something as a habit, it is very, very difficult to get rid of it. But during this COVID crisis, I have myself witnessed many people. In fact, I am one of them. Now I can manage without a newspaper, but I was so used to read it in the morning. So again, the entire newspaper, the print industry is also shifting from print to digital, print to portal. So yesterday, people, we used to be very fond of ourselves that we are from print, but today we are introducing or reintroducing ourselves as a digital print or portal guys. So whenever we feel that it is we need to lead them, or we need to motivate our team, we need to provide a vision for the future. It is again in line with set your own goals, because until and unless we don't show a picture or a future or a bright future, it is very much difficult to keep your team motivated or keep your team engaged. It is very important to show the vision. Look, this is our target, this is what we wish to achieve. And then then you can align everyone with that vision, and then only that journey can become little smooth. I'm not saying it is going to be smooth, but nothing comes easily in life. So you need to slog, or you need to struggle in every aspect that you were in. So, but still it becomes little smooth. So inspiration is something that you will have to keep on inspiring people. It is like an everyday job. You never know what kind of battle they are battling at the personal front. So the moment they come to office, or the moment you meet them, nowadays we have work from home culture. So it is rather more difficult, because when you are in one-to-one communication, or you are meeting them, or you are exchanging the vibes, so many things you just get to understand, or many things you can perceive only by seeing them, or only from their vibes. But when it is only through digital windows, it becomes very difficult to understand what kind of battle that the person is battling behind. So communication is very important, and keep them inspired or keep them motivated is another very important aspect. And the other thing is what I have felt, that when it is a team, so it is not easy for everyone to give equal priority to all the teammates. But a good leader is someone who makes his every teammate feel important or appreciated. It is very, very important. And that is when you will get that belongingness, that feeling of belongingness from each teammate. Sometimes what we tend to do, if somebody has done something good for the team, we tend to highlight that person so much that we tend to ignore the rest. But remember, it is always a team effort. So when it is team, so the credit should also be given to others for their passive support. There are two kinds of support that we all know. One is active and one is passive. So even if the other teammates are not actively supporting, but the passive support is always there. So it's important to make everyone feel important and appreciated. And as I already said, the ethics are very important. Live your values, whatever you think is right, you should only fight for that. You should have your clarity, you should have your ethics, your code of conduct right, so that where to stop yourself. Do's and don't, as you call it, do's and don't. what are the do's and what are the don't. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to not going to do those things. So those are like don't. When it comes to my personal experience, like I will never opt for any kind of shortcuts. Don't. I will never. So I'm very clear about it. Does not matter. I'll opt that long route. You know, if someone can achieve one certain thing in 6 months by opting for that shortcuts, I would rather wait for 2 years to achieve the same thing. But I would be content, I would be personally satisfied, and I would never have that guilt conscience, or I will always have my head high, head high positions, because I'm still dignified and I have never compromised in any case so far. So my head is always high, and I'm very proud of myself. And when it is with others, like, we need to have our strategies. Strategy is something which is very, very important on the very beginning. Until and unless we do not have our clear cut strategies, we cannot go further, forget about achieving our goals. And we also need to be a better listener. We should ask more and we should tell less. The moment you become a good listener, you can inherit many things from everyone around you. It does not matter whether you are traveling by a local train, because in Mumbai local trains are the lifelines of Mumbai. So you just need to quietly sit and listen to people. You will get to hear or get to learn so many new things. So you should be also very much curious or inquisitive about your people, about people that are surrounded by you, and embrace the unknown. So we'll have to have that daring, we'll have to have that to explore the unexplored, that unquenching thirst that we call it. We will have to have that fire in our belly to see the unseen, to know the unknown, or the thirst to see the unseen world. So we will also have to set our people for success. It is very important to set them, and then it is very easier for us to guide them. And similarly, we should also keep our people focused. Focus is very important. So, these are the outlines that, which are important. But now I'm going to share my personal journey and my takeaways. When it comes to me, when I was a student, when I was doing my management, I have learned about setting up goals. I have learned about roadmaps, creating milestone, and achieving them one after another. So what I did, I have kept 5 years goal for myself. Since I was a student that time, so I wanted to see myself, in at 25, where I would like to see myself, at 30s, where I would like to see myself, at 35, where I would like to see myself. When we do set our goals, when we try to create our roadmap for our journeys, it is not only for our professional front, but it is equally important for our personal, our financial, or our family wise as well. Because everything is interlinked, everything is interconnected, as we say. you know we are all connected via small threads. So until and unless all the important factors of your life are not on the right track, you cannot focus on anything. It becomes very much different, or it becomes very much challenging for one to remain focused or achieve their targets if your personal front is not on track, if your financial front is not on track, or career wise if you're not doing good, or your surroundings, your family, your siblings, your kids, your husband, if you're not doing good. So we need to play that balance act. While doing so, we need to keep our goals intact. So I have kept the goals. I'll just share my basic goals, like the simple one. I'm a very minimalistic person. I believe in living happily and living with everyone. I believe in ecosystem where everyone is inclusive living, where it's an ecosystem where everyone is part of your life and you enjoy sharing with everyone and you grow together, right? So in case of me, I have kept a goal like by 25, I would like to see myself in a good corporate house as a good corporate executive. But in the next 5 years, that means by the 30s, I wanted to see myself in a managerial position where I'm owning my own team, where people will report to me and I will lead them well. At the same time, I have also set a target that I'll have to get married before 30. I will have to have my first kid when I'm 30. And also financially, I have started investing as soon as I have joined my job, even if it's not a huge amount, but small amount also makes lots of difference down the line. Even if you are young today, if you're at your 20s, even if you save 500 rupees in a month or 1000 rupees in a month on any SIP, systematic investment plan, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, it will become a huge amount. You will not even realize, you would have spent that money anyway. You would have spent that money by going out with your friends or going for a picnic or buying some clothes for yourself. But if you make a plan to invest systematically every month without a fail, even if it is as less as 500, but it is going to become a huge amount by the time you are ready to buy your own house, so that your down payment will come from there, or by the time you are ready to get married, so that you can support your parents by bearing half of your expense. Or if you don't want to spend it on your marriage, on your house, you can go for outings. If you can go for to new destinations where you can explore new things, where you can learn new things, because nowadays it is a new kind of a trend, like instead of investing on house or properties, people are investing more on experience. People are going abroad for holidays to experience new things. You can do that as well. Whatever your wish, you can do that. But you need to see to it so that you can set your goals, career wise, personal life wise, family wise, and financial freedom is very, very important. Though we are living in a democratic country in India, so even if you have all kind of liberties, you have social liberty, you have freedom of speech, you have freedom to move around. But if you are not financially independent, if you do not have financial freedom, then nothing matters, nothing counts, I'm telling you. So do that. I have been doing this. I am very much grateful to one of my senior, Rajendra Bose sir, who has taught me the art of savings. And he forced me, when I was just hardly earning 5 to 6,000 rupees, but he forced me to go for investment, systematic investment plan. And he told me that save it without a miss, keep on saving it, and then you see how much you have accumulated. And then as I already said, that my milestones were like 25, 30, and 40, etc., etc. So in everything, even if social front also, it is very important to have your milestone or have your sets, have your targets. These are my takeaways as I'm sharing. So in Mumbai, local train is called the lifeline of Mumbai. As you know, Mumbai traffic, my office used to be like 33 kilometers one way from my residence. So anyone would not dare to go by road, because in Mumbai kind of traffic, especially during the peak hours, it would take you more than 2.5 hours. And Mumbai being a financial capital of the country, being the most professional city, so no one would admire if you are late, if you cannot afford to be late for any meeting. So we have no option but to go by the train. But train journey is very, very challenging in Mumbai. If anyone is aware about Mumbai, or if anyone is aware about the local train of Mumbai, then you would know that during the peak time, it is hugely crowded. If there is a capacity of 150 ladies, then you will find 350 to 400 ladies easily standing in one compartment. Forget about getting a space to sit during the peak hours. You will not even fortunate enough to get a space to stand. So, and the other challenge is that in Mumbai, since the train lines have been made by the British era, so it has not been changed because of space crunch. So it is very much important for you to understand which side is your platform coming. For an example, if your platform is coming by the left hand side, so you will have to come towards left hand side and stand there. And if you do not come onto the left hand side and stand there, then you will not able to get down on left hand side. If you're standing by mistake on right hand side, then you will have to cross your station, go to the next station which comes on right hand side, then get down, then catch another train and come back. So that has happened to me many many times. I have experienced this. So I have kept a target for myself that after 30 I will not be traveling by train. I'll have to own a car, I'll have to own a four-wheeler, I'll have to own a vehicle. Though this traffic is there, but still I'll have to have my own comfort space to sit, to listen to songs. If I'm hungry, I can eat food. If I'm thirsty, I can drink water. So those kind of things I have set for myself. And likewise, I have also inspired my sisters, my and the eldest. So I have inspired my sisters to follow the same routine for their life. It is very important. It is very important to keep the goals set, and you must try to achieve it. It is not necessary that everyone will achieve. I will able to achieve everything that I have kept as my set goals, but I should try. There is no harm in trying, but there are lots of harm if I'm not trying. So we should try. That is about the journey of life. We need to keep on trying. It does not matter how much challenges we are going to face, how many hurdles are going to pop up, but we will have to keep focused, and we'll have to keep on trying. And the other thing which I have learned recently, during this COVID crisis, that we need to create a community of like-minded people. The life is changing, the world is changing very fast. So it is very, very important to create a community of like-minded people. Since, I am an active social worker, so I am associated with various NGOs, who are doing social work. So I have created my own community of social workers. So we interact, relevant things in them. We do relevant work. We support each other, and we go to meet them. We go to support them. Likewise, we expect the same from them. At the same time, I also work towards promoting women entrepreneurs in India. So we have developed a community for women entrepreneurs, so that if you are a women entrepreneur, you can come and join us. We have our own e-portal where you can showcase your product. We are having our own round of exhibitions across the year, so that you can come and showcase your product. Same time, we also have thousands of ladies as a member of that women community, so that you can also have a good customer base as soon as you join us. So those kind of communities are very important, because without a community nobody can sustain, and without a community you cannot have your peace of mind, or you cannot just give it back to the society. So even at the professional front, we have our professional workers group, mini group or community, where we exchange our ideas, where we talk about where are we heading, which are the new things coming, how do we need to adapt ourselves. When this COVID thing came up, we had no clue. I was a little skeptical about adapting the digital art. I did not have much idea how those hashtag things work. I did not have much idea how those keyword things work, but I had to learn it. I had no choice but to learn it. But during that time, those professional community have helped me. They have taught me how to do it. There is, thanks to Google Papa, as we say, there are so many informations, there are so many useful tools, useful apps, useful portals are there. But since again we are again flooded with so many options the moment we open the Google page, and nowadays all the SEOs are there, SEMs are there, so many ads pops up. So the substantial things are hidden behind. So if there is someone who can guide you properly, who can tell you, okay, look, don't go for this, just go for this. I was not aware that in Google, like those ad, that small ad button is there. If it is there, that means it's an ad. I am not opening those pages. I will try to go to organic data, which are much below. Maybe it will pop up on the second slide or third slide. So I was not aware about that. Thanks to all my communities who are teaching us, who are helping us to go ahead in our life. And since I'm getting this kind of support from people around me, so it is my responsibility to give it back to others who have been striving hard, who have been trying their best. So be it the weavers. India is blessed to have so many bundles of people, weavers. We have got such a great art from, like we have got Madhubani, we have got Varli. In my native Assam, we have got Muga, which is the toughest thread in the world. We have got Part, we have got such beautiful motifs. So we have got weavers who are weaving the fabrics. We have who are weaving the items, but they don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to promote themselves. They don't know. So if I am aware, if I can bring them to a platform where they can exhibit their products, where we can channelize their products to the prospective buyers, then why not? I think everyone should do it, and that is how I have been doing it, and that is how maybe I am managing to sustain in this uh, COVID time. First year was, of course, it was quite challenging for us because things which were already in the pipeline, they all got abandoned, all our project got scrapped. But somehow we managed to adapt. Somehow we have learned new things, and we are till there in the market, and we are fortunate enough to serve our clients on a continuous basis. So what I believe strongly, that we can rise only by lifting others. So it is very important to lift one another. And by lifting others only, we can rise to a huge extent. Thank you so much. I think I am done.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Jutika Mahanta, for your thought-provoking presentation on the journey to, lead others. All right. You're such a good storyteller, And thank you for sharing us your personal journey on how you managed to overcome those obstacles that came along your way in achieving your success, and for making us understand that the first step to understand about success is that it is not a destination, but a wonderful journey that never ends. All right. I was particularly interested in your take on how to lead yourself effectively by taking control of your thoughts, taking initiative, keeping your empty cup to absorb more knowledge, wisdom, and by prioritizing your personal growth. All right. We truly appreciate great lecturers like you. All right. So we once again thank you so much for such a commendable job. And of course, we look forward to having you again in our next series. All right. Again, thank you, Ma'am Jutika Mahanta. All right. So just a quick reminder, guys, if you have any questions to our first speaker, Ma'am Jutika Mahanta, just send it in the comment section below, and we will bring that up during the question and answer portion after the online quiz game competition. All right. So moving on with our last but not the least speaker for tonight. All right. She is the founder and CEO of Affinity Human Capital. All right. Also a founder and CEO of Hairdressa Shopping and yes, it's Hairdressa Shopping and Retail Business. All right. So now let's please welcome Mom Daisy Lifiana all the way from South Africa on the show. All right.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, good evening, Mom Daisy Lifiana.
How are you?
We're doing good. All
I'm
right.
very well.
Yes.
Net- Network is failing me in South Africa. I'm gonna try and switch my camera on.
Oh, sure,
Um,
sure.
yeah, and see if. Okay.
Oh, that's
Cool.
great.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for the
we're
invite.
Yes, we're not seeing each other face to face.
There we go.
All right. So again, we thank you for joining us for tonight's webinar. All right.
Thank
I
you so
think
much. I'm
our
honored. Yeah.
yes, our live audience can hardly wait for your presentation. Another motivational presentation for our live audience tonight.
Um, I'm gonna try and present.
All right. So you can now start sharing your screen, Mom Daisy.
I will.
All right. All right. While Mom Daisy is preparing her presentation, why not give shout out to some of our live audience for tonight, like Ma'am Juliet, my Pagoyo Dollar, Mark Aaron Banera, Bernardo Guevara Jr., Mercedita Tariao Grigana. We have Ma'am Carmela Hain. Okay, they are in our Facebook Live. And for our YouTube platform, we've got Ian Roy Balmosena. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have Ma'am Evelyn Wapiri. All right. Ian Roy Balmosena, thank you for your super chat, guys. It's a pleasure to know that you're still there supporting us. All right. And all right, there you go.
My apologies. My network is very slow. Just trying to
Uh,
open my presentation.
okay, so I we hope and pray that the internet is going to be friendly for all of us so that we can continue
Yes.
our webinar for tonight. All right.
Mm.
Also to Ma'am Diana Grace Parkon from our YouTube Live. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. All right, here we go. Thank you guys for your super chat. Okay, we have Ma'am Acierto also from our YouTube Live. Thank you for joining us for tonight. We have Ma'am Phil Grace Superales Baloca. Sir Alex Javier Alvarez. All right, and let's go back to our live audience from our Facebook platform. We've got Mary Grace Adriatico. All
Okay.
right.
So
Okay.
okay, cool. I'm back. I won't be able to share my screen because of the network. However, I will just introduce myself and take you
All right.
through uh, my business and what we do. So
Yes.
I'm gonna do that now. So my name is Daisy Lepiana. I am the
All right.
CEO of. Okay, there's noise in the background. Okay.
All right, ma'am. Do whatever turns you on. Okay. If you feel like you're going to just like share your story. All right.
I'll
So
share my story. So my name is Daisy Lepiana. I am the
all right.
founder and the CEO of Affinity Human Capital. So Affinity Human Capital is an HR consulting business. We chose the concept human capital because we just want to focus more on the people, their roles in the business, and their skills. So our vision is to humanize human capital so that we can empower people to change their lives for the better. So we do that by humanizing processes in the business, structures in the business, and system in the business. And we also do that from the HR perspective, because we understand that, people are the driver of the business and people are the center of the business. And our mission is to equip employees with the right development skills for an evolving world. And because we strongly believe in the importance of coming together to foster more human connection for our people. The previous speaker spoke about the power of connection. We are born to be connected, and that's the reason why, during lockdown, people were not happy, because we are born to be connected. So the purpose of our business is to ensure that businesses are human to human. And our culture is about people, and we serve people who are serving your clients, because your client's experience will match the employee experience. And I always have conversation with my team to say, we are here because of our clients. We are here because of our external stakeholders. We are here to work with each other, not to work against each other. So our business is more to make sure that every business is human to human. And I always give example with, calling people by their job titles. We need to learn start calling people by their name. If you are working for, you are at reception, people have tendency of just call the receptionist. Do you exactly know her name? Why can't you use her name? So that's the purpose of our vision. And again, human capital is people, roles, and skills. And because a crucial and often overlooked component of organizational strategy. And we also assist businesses to execute the strategy. What's the important if you put a beautiful strategy together and you can't execute? And they think for you to execute, you do it alone. You execute through collaboration. You execute through partnership. You execute through a retained structure. You execute through making sure that you bring the right skill, in the business. And I am proud to say we are a high performing HR, a company, because what we do, we will dedicate one resource to build effective teams through innovative employment practice and training. And innovative is it's having empathy, thinking outside the box. But not everyone understands what is thinking outside the box. As a business, are you teaching people to think outside the box? Are you creating a thinking environment for them? And step two, what we do, we support teams through a combination of best practices, because governance are important, and understanding Indian culture, it's important. Make time to ensure that you understand, the best practices. And we do that by offering performance insights and compensation flexibility at the team level. For example, collaboration platforms and teamwork, workspace. I always say the workspace is very important. Now people are working from home. Do you know if your employees have the right, space to work? Have you ever do one-on-one and ask, do you have the right resources where you are? Do you have network where you are? Do you have any space to work? Because in South Africa, some of the people, they live in the informal settlement. And do you know if they have the right workspace? And that's human to human. And the step three, what we do, we share any expertise gained in the development of teams and managing change within leaders and managers throughout the organization. And the previous speaker spoke about leadership. Leadership is a journey. It's a journey, and it's not easy, because when you manage people, you're not just managing their day-to-day responsibilities, you also managing personalities, and personalities are history. You're managing someone that you didn't grow up with. You're managing someone that you don't know what they're going through. So we are here as Affinity Human Capital to say we will help you understand the people that you have in your business. I don't know if there's any question or comment before I continue. So human capital value chain, it's purely human. So the first step that we take with your business is the attract. So when we talk about attract, we check if you have employee value proposition in place. How are you going to attract the right talent? What resources do you have for the right talent? The HR infrastructure, do you have systems in place? And the recruitment, do you have a recruitment strategy in place? And we also do the onboarding induction. Never take onboarding induction for granted, because that will be your part of employee experience. And it's very important to welcome people in your business. So as Affinity Human Capital, we also look after that, function. And then we also move to, retain. How are you retaining your employees, in the business? What do you do? Because again, if you don't look after you don't have a retain strategy in place, people are going to leave. And when they do, HR department do the exit interviews, people will never be honest, because they feel that you never understand them, you never make time to understand them. And we also take care of the employee value. And I always say work life balance is very important. If I don't have kids and my colleague has kids, during the meeting, I will have to honor that, because you cannot tell small kids that I'm in the meeting. So that is part of work-life balance. Work satisfaction, it's very important to make sure that people have defined and clear KPIs and job descriptions. So that's what we do for businesses. And transformation. I always say we all have the ability to transform the continent. And what the previous speaker mentioned, she spoke a lot about leading self. She spoke a lot about just connecting with self. And I was transformed, during her session, because now I understand that it's very important as a human being to lead yourself before you can lead other people. And as our business, we always say, let's humanize those processes. And I think I need to collaborate with the previous speaker, because she spoke a lot about, mastering self. And that's what we do. We make sure that people connect with self, because if you understand yourself, it's easy to lead people. And the last one, I always say humility. The more you can contain your ego, the more you are to your problems. You learn how to listen, admit you don't know all the answers. And humility allows you to acknowledge your mistakes. Let's be vulnerable as leaders. If you don't understand something, raise your hand. It's not a weakness. You are saying, oh, I don't know everything. Let's work together. So, self mastery, when you know yourself, you can master yourself. You can keep your ego in check, take responsibility for your behavior. You can adapt to change. You embrace new ideas and adhere to your standards of integrity and honesty under all conditions. And I wish you all the best. And thank you, thank you, thank you for this brilliant initiative or platform. Thank you so much. That's it from my side.
All right, there you go. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Mom Daisy Lifiana. I hope I got it right. For
Yes.
helping us, yes, for helping us become more aware of the importance of managing people in the business organization with your insightful presentation. It was very interesting and informative, though you were not able to show us your slide presentation for some reason. All right. And I particularly like your discussion on human capital. This reminds me of my lessons before, way back in my college or in my master's degree. Uh, we discussed about 3 R's. This is very much in connection and very much related to what we have just discussed, like the 3 R's for you to
Thank you
get the
so
right
much.
people. Yes, you have to start. The way you said it's attract. What I mean with 3 R is you have to recruit the right people. That's as you were saying, attract the right people. The second R is retain, okay, those people. And then the third R is reward. So that's recruit, retain, and reward. Okay, that's the best thing a management can do in order for the people that they are governing with to be productive enough. All right. So again, thank you so much, Ma'am DC Lifiana.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right.
Appreciate the platform.
Yes, for such a commendable job. And we hope you will consent to speak to us again in our next series.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, but before we go any further, all right, let's give first a huge shout out to Mom Violeta Labiano Racho for being spotted for her continued support to IGP through her regular attendance in most of our webinar series conducted. So for that reason, IGP is so pleased to award you its lifetime membership certificate for being a loyal follower of IGP. Congratulations. All right. Our speaker will join us again later for the Q&A portion. All right. So you can just prepare, guys, your questions that you would like to ask to our speaker for speakers rather for tonight. All right. So brace yourself, guys, for an exciting and fun-filled online quiz game coming up next. All right, so we now come to the online quiz game competition, and this is open for all our live audience for tonight who is to join. All right, so as of now, we still have a few participants joining in, so I think we're going to give them a minute or two to get settled, and then we'll get underway. All right, so here we go. All right, so let's say hi to Joe or Patricia Yvonne Katongal, Diana Grace Fantinelgo. Thank you for joining for our online quiz game tonight. Jenaline Velia Resurrection, Carmela B. Hine, Alex Javier Alvarez, Elvina Montalvo, Romel John Aquino, Marivexi Clavicelia, Phil Grace Baloca, Ashu Kumar Adhikari. All right, Jeanette Maguna, Romel Jancy Aquino, I think I read it again, Bibeth Atruela, Mikey Leonardo, Leah Faconla. Thank you guys for joining us for tonight's online quiz game competition. So as of now, we have 58 participants who are joining in for our online quiz game competition. All right. So for those who haven't yet joined, please go to slido.com and we are showing you on the screen the code as well as the QR code. All right. So I think we're about to begin. Okay, we have here our first question. A blank is a client who contributes to the success of our business. Is it an asset or a success? All right. So there you go. Majority of you guys said it's an asset. And let's find out if that's really the correct answer. You got it. You got it, guys. Congratulations. It's an asset. All right. Okay, so here we go. Again, congratulations for making it. All right, uh, all right. So here we go. Romel Jancy Aquino this time is our top scorer. All right, with 4 seconds. And also with Ana Marie Joy A. Mercado. Okay. Romel Hernandez on the third spot. Aigul Agabalayeva on the fourth spot. So let's continue with our second question. It says, what does the second C of success stand for? Is it consistently or credibility? All right, so you only have 2 options. That means you have this less probability of committing mistakes since you only have 2 options to choose from. Slido, please show us the correct answer. It's credibility. All right, 48% of our participants got the correct answer. All right. All right. Okay, so we are now proceeding to, all right, so let's get back to the leaderboard. Jenaline V. Resurrection this time is our top scorer with 10 seconds spent in submitting her answer. All right. Number 3 question. Blank is a feeling of great happiness, especially because of a success. All right, so what do you call that, guys? Is it jubilation or success? Time is up, and Slido is now tabulating the result of your score, and the correct answer is jubilation. All right, it's jubilation. Okay, it is closely synonymous with congratulations and jubilation. All right, there you go. 88% of our participants said it's jubilation, and that's the correct answer. All right, congratulations. All right, congratulations and jubilations. Jenaline V. Resurrection is still our top scorer at this moment with perfect score and 12 seconds right, consumed in submitting her answer. All right, that's made her on the top of the list, followed by Ana Marie Joy E. Mercado. Third, JC Ray, Miliamina, Melinda Civil Hispano, and Jeneline S. de la Cruz. We are now proceeding with our fourth question. Blind control the keys to your happiness and success. Choices are, is it you or your bosses? All right. Time is up. And Slido, please tell us which one is correct. It's, of course, it's you guys. It is you who control the keys to your happiness and success. All right. 99% of our participants got a correct answer. Congratulations. All right. That's the fourth question. And let's go back to our leaderboard and let's find out who's on the top of the list. Still, Janeline V. Resurrection with 16 seconds consumed in submitting her answer. That made her on the top of the list. Okay, guys, you have to consider how fast you can submit your answer. All right. Ana Marie Joy Mercado on the second spot. JC Ray, Milia Mena, Melinda Civilespano, and Jeneline S. De La Cruz. All right. Don't you worry, guys. We still have 5 questions remaining left. All right, here we go. Here we go with number 5 question. Success is what? Is it able to prove you're right, or something that ends well? All right, what do you think, guys? 3, 2, and 1. Time is up, and let's check which one is the correct answer. It's something that ends well. Success is something that ends well. All right, that's the correct answer according to Slido. Congratulations, but majority of our live audience got the correct answer. All right, congratulations again. Jeneline V. Resurrection was able to maintain her spot being the number 1 on the list. This time it's being followed by, okay, let's go back later on. For the number 6 question, guys, here we go. Recognizing that all workers contribute to the job's success shows which transferable skill? Is it organization, management, and leadership, or human relations? Majority of our live audience said it's congratulations, but you made it, guys. That's organization, management, and leadership. That's the correct answer. All right. Okay, so I think, okay, let's see. Let's get back to our leaderboard and find out. This time it's Jesse Ray is Milia Mena. All right. Followed by Alex Javier Alvarez. We have Inglantina Shihu, Neko Den Esmiro, and oh my, we have 2 Neko Den Esmiro here. Okay, I think he is using 2 accounts. Would that be possible? All right. Okay, so anyway, let's proceed with our number 7 question. The schedule for your career journey is called a blank. Is that a career trip or career plan? So we've got, all right, time is up. And Slido is now going to reveal the correct answer. Majority of you guys said it's a career plan, and let's find out if that is really the correct answer. Yes, it is. That's the correct answer. It's career plan. Congratulations. All right. Majority of you guys got the correct answer. All right. So that's the number 7 question, right? So can we go back to our leaderboard to check who's going to be our top scorer? All right. Still, Jesse Ray is Meliamina. All right, with perfect score and 34 seconds. All right, followed by Eglantina Shihu with 44 seconds. And it's a tie with Alex Javier Alvarez. Okay, Neko Den Ismir on the 4th spot, and we have Melanie Obedoza Mara on the 5th spot. Okay, but the game is not yet over. All right, we still have 2 remaining questions. Number 8 question, guys. Which one of the following behaviors will not lead to a successful career? Is it being willing to work from home or being independent? All right. Majority of our participants said being willing to work from home, and that's the correct answer, guys. Congratulations. You made it. All right. All right. Let's find out this time. Still JC Ray. Is Miliamina is still on the top of the list, followed by Alex Javier Alvarez, Melania Obedosa Mara, Leslie Alfonso, and Bibeth If Achuela. All right. Okay. And for the ninth question, it says scientific theory used to describe business success. All right. Is that social business or social Darwinism? All right. Darwinism. I remember then my lesson before, it's Darwin's theory. All right. It's social Darwinism. That's the correct answer. And I'm so glad that majority of you guys got the correct answer. 55% of our participants got the correct answer. Okay, so let's check out who's going to be on the top of the list. This time it's Alex Javier Alvarez topping over JC Ray as Milia Mena. Okay, and we have Melanie Obedosa. All right, so let's go back later on to find out who's going to be our champion for tonight. For the last question, guys, brace yourself for the last question. It says, old blind do not lead you to new cheese. Is it ideas or beliefs? It's beliefs. It's beliefs. That's the correct answer, guys. All right, congratulations, but majority among you got the correct answer. Congratulations to Jesse Ray Esmiliamina for being our champion for tonight's online quiz game competition. All right. Followed by Melanie Obedosa Mara and Bebeth F. Atrela on the third spot. Crispiniano D. Candido on the fourth spot. And we've got Phil Grace S. Baloca on the fifth spot. Alex Javier Alvarez is our sixth. Okay. Amelin C. Katubay on the seventh spot. Melinda Civil Hispano on the eighth spot. And we've got Ana Marie Joy A. Mercado on the ninth spot. And the last but not the least is Ada Ramirez Martinez being our 10th placer. All right, congratulations everyone. All of you are winners. It's just that we have to give a certificate of quiz completion to the lucky top 10 players for tonight. Again, congratulations for joining in. All right, so you can just find the link below for you to be able to download your e-verified certificate. All right. So question and answer portion is up next. All right. So please prepare your question and have it typed on the comment section down below. All right. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, our speakers will now entertain your questions for tonight. All right, so kindly prepare your question by typing them, all right, on the comment section down below. Okay, so we have to bring that up on the screen so that I can read it loud. Okay, including the speaker can read it carefully. Okay, so I think we have the first question from Bernardo Guevara Jr. Okay, he's asking if we could exert all our efforts to lead, but few are failed to comply. Who's going to answer first? Okay, Bernardo is asking if we exert all our efforts to lead, but few are complying, something like that. Okay, what's going to happen if you exert all your effort? If you exert all your efforts to lead a certain organization, but few are helping you out, few are complying. So it's a question of how are you going to motivate those people who are not actually complying with the rules that you are applying in a certain organization that you are leading as a leader.
If you
We're
ask
here.
me,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
see,
ma'am.
yeah, in
Yes.
my presentations, I have already mentioned that, even if we all have our goal set, even if we know what is our target, even if we have all our compliances in place, even if we all have a roadmap, but it does not give you a surety that you will achieve it or you will not fail. So that is why I have been talking about being versatile all the time and trying our limit. We human beings, we don't try our limit till we don't face the hurdles. When it comes to me, I was quite skeptical once I'll become mother, whether I'll able to, balance both my personal or professional life, whether I'll able to continue with what I have been doing. But once I become a mother, in fact, I'm a double mom because I have got two kids, and I realized that my limit is too much, and I have never tried to stretch it till beyond, or I have never gone beyond my capacity. We human beings, we have a blockage by thinking that my limit is this much or my limit is that much. However, God has made us in such a way that we are limitless, and stress and pressure can create wonders. I strongly believe in that. When I'm under stress and when I have a pressure to deliver something, I can actually create wonders. Things which may take 1 day or 2 days, I can complete it in 1 day. So this is what I would like to say, that try your limit. We are limitless as a human. We don't actually stretch ourselves. So please try that and don't fear of failure. Just do it by focusing and wholeheartedly. I'm sure Madam Daisy can put some more into it. Please.
All right.
Um,
Thank you, Ma'am Jutika. Yes. What is your take, Ma'am Daisy?
Yes, my take is unfortunately we owe everything to ourselves. And with my previous companies that I worked for, I used to make a list of the things that I wanted to achieve, in the company. And it's your responsibility, to go to your leader or your manager to share your feelings, to share your concerns, for example, if they don't put a KPI together or job descriptions for you, you have a right to go to your manager to say, look, can I please have my KPI? Can I please have my job description? Because I really want to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for myself. And if there's lack of compliance in the company, knock into human resource door and say, guys, I have areas of concern, and let's be vulnerable. Most of the time, we assume a lot as employees. And it's important to share your feelings. It's important to raise your areas of concern. And like I said, our responsibility is humanize human capital, to say every business is human to human. So let's raise our voice. Let's be vulnerable. It's not about creating conflict, but we're saying I have areas of concerns and I have a right to share my feelings, and they will definitely understand. And as part of a creating relationship, make sure that you develop and you retain those relationship. And relationship is very important. Let's not focus on the negativity. Let's focus on the positivities as well.
Yes, very well said, Ma'am Daisy. And if I may add, I think the first thing that the manager should do is to ask her or himself, why are these people are not complying? There could be some reasons that we don't know. That's the first thing that I think that a manager should do, to find out what's the reason behind. It could be jealousy or something else. All right, so we've got another question from Phil Grace. So, but I think this one is a very, very interesting question. In this pandemic, she's asking, how can we, or how do we lead people to success? Okay. As far as I know, what we need today is someone who is an adaptive leader, who can help people to respond to the challenge that we are facing right now. So how can we lead people to success in this time of pandemic, in this changing world and changing environment?
Mm.
Okay, shall we start with Ma'am Jutika again? Ma'am Jutika?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there are, like, 2, 3 things which I have already explained through my own learning is creating a community. Because we are facing so many challenges, it is very much important to create community of like-minded people. Like if you are into a particular business or if you're into a particular domain, so create a community of that particular field around yourself so that you can get the proper kind of guidance. You can also get to learn what is trending now, because market has been changing very fast during this crisis. It is very much important to remain updated. It is very much important to know what has changed yesterday. If you see Bombay Stock Exchange, the BSE index, it is changing every day and night. So it is important, and you need to seek support from the community who are part of your same domain so that you remain updated, not only of your country but also as a whole, also about the ecosystem. That is one way. And the second thing is that you will have to be adaptive to new changes. You can't remain stagnant. You can't remain, stubborn to what you are doing. You may have to, like, just take an example of the teachers. In India especially, every school has shifted to online mode of teaching. Those teachers who have hardly 2 years left to retirement, they have no choice but to learn how to operate an Android or a iOS device. They have picked it up for the kids. They have learned how to make Google Meet, how to do Zoom call, how to use all those portal, which give you the accessibility to interact with students. So those kind of, adaptiveness, those kind of openness to learn things, or those kind of versatility is required in this kind of situation. So, it is not one person who can lead. It may be institutionalized thing. It may be a community which is offering you all kind of support, be your technical support, be your social support, be a emotional support, and creating an ecosystem so that we all can, go ahead and achieve our, target. I hope I could answer this. So, Madam Daly, please again, add your inputs.
Yes, and I support
Yes.
what you say. Embrace change. And unfortunately, life is about change and growth. So we are growing, and let's embrace the change. So I would say be willing to to adapt to the change, and have a board of directors, a personal board of directors. So personal board of director, have a spiritual mother if you are spiritual, have a career partner, have an intellectual partner, have a person that you speak to when you're stuck intellectually, because your mental health is important and your emotional capacity is also important. So you can't do it alone. So, like you say, the community that is part of your board of directors. And let's embrace this change. Life is about growth and change. And we are growing in this change. Let's embrace it. And I know it's not easy when you lead people because we are from a different background, but don't do it alone. Be vulnerable. Raise your hand if you're stuck. Guys, help me. I'm stuck. So I think with the pandemic, I gave birth to my business because I was home. I was just, finding myself, identifying my purpose, and putting together my vision. So this pandemic is not here to, to destroy us. Let's embrace it. Let's grow. Let's work together because there's so much power in collaboration. There's so much power in partnering. So don't undermine what you know. What you know, maybe I don't know. And I like what she said. The community, have the positive community for yourself. Have the people that you can engage with when you're stuck. Because leadership is success. It's a journey. It's not once off thing. Because people are also changing.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Daisy, for such a very insightful answer. I link with your idea that the challenge for our leaders today is to lead their people to embrace really the change. But what is challenge there is it's really hard for the people to really accept the challenge because it's something that's new to them. So that's the challenge
Mm,
for our leader to I meant to guide them along the way to gradually introduce the change, and then later on they will eventually embrace it. All right.
mm.
It,
Yes.
it's not an easy task to do, but it requires patience for our leader to do that. All right. Okay, thank you for that very insightful answer. And we've got another question here. Again from Phil Grace, Superales Baloca again. Thank you for that another question. Now, in this time of pandemic again, how could we have a work-life balance? Another challenge question. Very
Mm.
challenging question rather. How can we make a work-life balance now that we are actually dealing with crisis?
Mm. Chiti, you'll go first on this one. We all struggling with, with the work-life balance,
Yes.
and we're learning. I think I will personalize it. From my side, I'm fortunate that I don't have small kids. And I feel sorry for for women that have small kids. So I think my work-life balance. I have a routine. I'm a very routine human being. When I wake up 5 o'clock, I meditate, and I exercise, and I read a lot, and think that is helping me. I read different books, and the books that just talk about change and positivity and your mental health, your emotions. And then I know that I have hours that I put for work. But I think answering the question is, don't be too hard on yourself. If you are not a communicator, communicate with your employer the things that you are busy with, because what they want to know what you're doing. If they give you
Exactly.
deliverables, meet their deliverables. Wake up like you're going to the office. Wake up, and take a shower, sit on your table, work, and take a break, take lunch, sit on your couch, eat lunch, go back, and consciously, listen to yourself, be in tune with yourself, because it's about your mind, your heart, and your body. I think spend time with yourself. Meditation helped me. I listen to my feelings, my body all the time. But we do it differently. Just find something that is keeping you alive. But from the work perspective, your deliverables are very important. Communication. Let's stretch it. Let's communicate. You rather over communicate by not communicating, keep your manager updated. This is my plan this week, this is what I need to deliver this week. Even when you take a break, they know what you're doing. So I think what we need to do during this time is to communicate. Let's check in with each other. It's working for me, and I think it can work for anyone.
Yes, communicate and do the things you love. All right. That's how I understand. All right. How about you, Ma'am Jutica? Do you also feel the same?
Yeah, I feel the same, but I would like to just add two, 3 points because I know it's been 2 years, so more or less we all have learned how to balance it. Right, we have been facing this pandemic or this lockdown since 2019 or 20. In India, we have been facing it from March 2020. So it's almost been 2 years that we have already learned how to live with it, how to balance both our, personal and professional front. But since I'm a mother, I have got two small kids, so I would like to just pinpoint one small thing here. This is the right platform because what happened, kids are very much adaptable to changes. By nature they are quite adaptive, they are quite natural, but unfortunately we parents, but parents, being parents, we are unfortunate,
Missing
we
out.
don't realize that, and we try to offload our stress to our kids. When the school have stopped here in Mumbai, suddenly it is like online school, and we were not prepared for it. We had no clue how online education system took place, how it works. But kids were absolutely fine with it. They have adopted it from the very first day. But we parents, we were more like, we were more curious, we were more anxious, and unknowingly or knowingly, we have offloaded our anxiety to the kids. The same way it has happened to everyone. It has happened to the wife or the lady in the house, because we had to do multitasking, not as a mother but also as a working woman, also as a housewife. Because of this pandemic, they have stopped allowing the maids to come home, so we had to do everything from cooking to washing to cleaning to opening the door to do everything. So initially it was very stressful, it was very, very, very tedious. It was very much draining for all of us. But 2 years is a long time to adapt new things, to change our habits, and more or less, I am sure we all have learned it. But as Madam Daisy has said, we must listen to ourselves. And what I have learned in this pandemic, that it is only a matter of job. Your health is more important, your personal space, your personal happiness, or your family is more important than your job. Job is going to be there today or tomorrow, but your family, your health, your soul, your happiness, your peace of mind is going to be there, throughout your life. So when it comes to my husband is a part of Bollywood industry, and Bollywood was shut almost for a year. There was no work. He used to sit at home and he used to remain so frustrated. So I had to pinpoint him. Look, we have been remaining so busy. Now we have got the time to eat food with us. You have got time to spend with the kids. So utilize that space. Utilize that opportunity to build your, connect with the kids. Create your communication. Tell them the stories of your school life, explain the story of your college life, how we met, how we got married, everything. You just communicate and create that bonding, because this is the time that you are getting once in a lifetime. Once the school will open, once the offices will be open, we will be again go back to our track. We will have no time left to communicate or connect. So better to utilize it. I'm fortunate enough that I have developed having lunch together, watching some film together, some classes together, and I'm making memories from my kids. So I'm taking it very positively because I'm a very positive person, and I'm sure every one of us have learned to you know uh, be used to this kind of a situation, and we have adapted. My sister is expecting mom now. She is managing her own body, her hormonal changes, and her office work. We all have learned. We are humans. We are quite adaptable, and we are quite natural and provided we give chance to ourselves. Don't try to limit yourself. Just set yourself free, and you will do it automatically.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that
Absolutely.
very insightful answer, Ma'am Jutika. And I think after all that's been said and done, it boils down to the fact that we have to spend quality time with our family, and because that's the best gift that we can give to them. All right. So thank
Absolutely.
you. Yes, thank you for that very insightful answer. And we've got another question here. Ma'am Ann Acierto, she's asking to both of you if the people we are trying to lead turns out to have too much toxicity in their cells. Can we still continue to lead them?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I spoke up, I spoke about when you lead people, you're not just leading their day-to-day responsibilities, you leading a different personality, you know. So if
Yes.
you have five people, you leading five personalities, and personalities is history. You leading someone that you know how they grew up, and what are they facing when they get home. And people
Yes.
are tough, people are unpredictable, but I'm saying
Yes.
as a leader, do your best, have conversations, one-on-one conversations, help, and use the coaching model. Don't talk, listen, and ask questions. Then you can get that information, and you'll be able to assist. For example, if a person is not happy, ask, what is going on? How can I help you? And listen to them to answer. And sometimes, when we manage people, we don't listen, we talk a lot. And we need to learn how to just stop and ask questions and listen. But it's tough. People are not easy. And one of the things that we do, in my company, I'm saying, we understand the people. So I always encourage leaders to use the coaching models and to also use the business values. If one of your business value is respect, use that value when you give constructive feedback, to say, do you think you respect the culture of the business? Do you think you respect your responsibilities? Do you think you respect authority? And allow people to answer. If one of your value is honesty, do you think you're honest enough with your deliverables? Do you think you're honest with yourself? you know and wait for the answer. So it's possible to lead toxic people. Remove your emotions and focus more on the work. Focus on the business culture, focus on the values, and to use the coaching model.
All right. Thank you for that very insightful answer. I remember then my lesson way back in my college that a tough manage. a top management. That the hardest part a management can do is fire an employee. All right, because as a manager, you're up to meet people with different perspectives in life, different cultures, different attitudes and perceptions. So it is your challenge to unify them through your, the goal of your organization. It's quite challenging, but once you work on it, and then eventually yes, you will get succeed. All right, so we've got another question here from Ada Ramirez Martinez, and she's asking how important is human relations in leadership. Can we have this from Mam Jutika? Human relations in leadership. Oh, they're
So,
like, yes,
yeah, since we both have been talking about communication, we both have been talking about human empowerment, or we are not working for any company. It's all about a set of human that we are engaged, or we are trying to do something. So be it a society, be it a country, be it a community, or be it a company, it's a human being first. So human relation is very, 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 very important. And that is why we we need to, as madam has already pointed out, when you are handling a team, just for an example, I have 50 people reporting to me. But at the same time, it is not only about 50 human, it is about 50 different background. It is about 50 different brought ups. It is about 50 different ethics, or the mindset that we talk about. So until and unless you don't understand the mindset, you don't understand the the culture, the the human ego or human attitude or human temperament, it is next to impossible to team and lead. It is, as we say in management, it is only about managing man. It is what we call management. So human relation is very, very important at your professional front, at the same time at your personal front, because your personal front, the people who are at your back, they are also your support system, who are helping you to managing with those tough nuts, who are not easy to crack, right? So with the help of that entire ecosystem, only you can sustain, survive, achieve, and lead to success. This is what I
Yeah,
feel.
yes, precisely. I don't think leadership can be successful without taking into consideration human relations.
Yeah.
Definitely, it will fail. All right. It's an integral part of leadership. The human relations is just an integral part of leadership. Without it, leadership can never be successful. All right. We've got another one here from Jurgar Tosop. In terms of psychosocial support, how would I know if I am leading my subordinates effectively, especially during this pandemic? Okay. As a leader, you also have to extend psychosocial support to your subordinates now that we are experiencing a pandemic. Okay, for them to at least relieve the trauma that they're experiencing, something like that. So, as if the question is asking if uh, once you do the psychosocial support to the subordinates, and how can you assess that you're such an effective leader? Okay.
Jutika will ask this one.
I will try. I'll give
Okay.
you honest try.
Yes.
So,
I will add. I will add something after you've answered.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
I'll just give my honest try.
yes. But
Because since we are going through a pandemic or since we are going through a crisis, we, as a team leader, it is our responsibility. It is our rather moral responsibility, not only to focus on their deliverables, but also their, well-being, well-being as a human, their psyche, their mental health, and everything. Because the entire world is going through a crisis. We have been facing some or the other crisis. We are we have lost our family members, we have lost half salary, we have lost many things during this pandemic. So it is like, if you remain as a strict boss or as a team leader, only focusing on the work part, only focusing on the deliverables, then I believe it is not the right approach. We will have to be, empathetic. We'll have to empathize with what they are going through, their mental being, their social being, their psychological being, and their overall, overall innate being, which is important. And then only it can contribute, or then only it can help them to deliver the best. So, and when it comes to how do I know if I'm doing it effectively, it is, we can know it only by communicating with them. As I already said, that it is easier when we meet one to one, but it is not that easy when we are meeting like virtually. It is not, we cannot read their voice, we cannot read their moods the way we can read when he is or she is standing in front of me. So we need to be more proactive, we need to be communicate more, we need to be more absorbing towards what they are trying to say. Some people, like, if it is me, I'm being very vocal. I don't mind going and telling my problems or my struggle or my obstacles to my seniors. But there are certain kind of people who are not as talkative or not as vocal or not as extrovert as I am. They are being very introvert. So those kind of people you will have to give special attention, because they are not going to divulge anything, they will only give you some signals. So you will have to catch on to them, and you have to try to assess whether they are right in the right mind frame or not. If not, then what is the issue? So communication ultimately and the human relation. So
Yeah.
now, madam,
yeah.
please add.
Yes, thank you so much for that insightful answer, Ma'am Jutika. And I think that's it. you can know, you can determine whether you're effective or not using your psychosocial support when the people you're leading are having a sound mental judgment, and you can still influence them. All right. All right, that's my thing, in addition to what Mom uh, Jutika said. All right, we've got another one here from Mary Jane Aitona Orbeso. She's asking, what is the best thing to do to lead a group successfully?
From my side, I would say lead with humility,
Yes.
lead with understanding, lead with inclusiveness. And when I say lead with humility, it's not easy to put yourself in other people's shoes, but have time for them, um, understand where they're coming from, and empathy, feelings,
Yes.
human to human. And understanding is understand where they're coming from, and like Judika said, you will never get it right because it's a journey. But when you lead with humility, when you lead with understanding, and I am an influence leader, I always surround myself with possibilities and ideas, and be vulnerable as a leader. If you don't understand, um, during the conversation, you're welcome to say, "Look, I don't have answers for you right now. Let me speak to this person, and I will get back to you." Sometimes we want to come across, we know everything, you know. If you don't know as a leader, you don't know. Be vulnerable. Be transparent with your team. Include them in your plan, your strategy. They will help you to execute that strategy. And remember, people can always help you to execute if you are if you are transparent. So I think from my side, four things: lead with humility, lead with understanding, and your empathy, understanding where people are coming from, and include them in everything that you do. Don't want to own the department alone. It's heavy, include them and understand and listen. And then they will come up with ideas. Be vulnerable. I don't understand what you're saying, and I think you will be successful in your role.
Yes, very well said. So, if I may understand, when you lead
Yeah.
in humility, you have to be humble, right?
Yeah.
And when you show empathy, you have to put yourself on the shoes of your subordinates so that you can
Correct.
understand, both of you can understand each other. All right,
Correct.
so we've got so many questions here. Beth this time Atrela is asking if we can consider a person who is just always giving tasks one after the other. Is that a good leader? What do you think, Ma'am Jutika? A leader who is always
See,
giving tasks one after
good
the
or
other.
bad, good or bad is subjective, What I would say that good or bad is subjective. Things which may come across as good to you may not come across as good to me. So these are all subjective things. So human beings, we all differ from one to one. So it is very, it will not be wise at my end to comment or judge whether it's a good leadership or not. But it again depends on the person who is sitting in that leadership position and his kind of responsibility or loads. It is, if he is actually having a Hercules task to finish, and then if he is just delegating job after job, then it is justified. But if the person himself is not doing anything and just passing out all the job to his subordinates, then I think it is not justified, or it is not a good quality of a leader.
Mm,
But the way I see it is it could be two things. It's either your boss gives you several jobs, it's because you are good in doing it, or it's either he's giving you too much tasks to drive you out of his office. And that can be used against you once you cannot perform it well, and then he will use that against you, okay, for not doing it well.
and,
Yes,
yeah, and
yes.
maybe they are giving tasks because they trust her.
Yes,
Both
it could be that
positive.
one. Okay, it depends upon the situation, and it depends upon the kind of
All
relationship that
subjective.
a leader has to his subordinates. Right. All right. We've got another one here. We're having a very interesting discussion here. Thank you, Cherivel Estrada, and she is asking if leading an organization, what are the three best qualities to attain success? She's asking three best qualities of a leader.
Um, with sure. Success is a journey. But for me, willingness to learn.
Number
Willingness
one.
to learn. Number one. Number two, be curious. Be curious with your surroundings. And number three, read. Never stop reading.
All right.
There's a there's a website that I use where you download any book that you want, and
Okay.
never stop reading. So and I think that will take. Remember, success is not about things that you have. Success is about the impact that you're making daily in your life. So just read, be curious, and be willing to learn.
Okay. So just read, 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 and read. Okay. Such a profound statement. Let's ask Ma'am Jutika three qualities to attain success in an organization. What do you think are the three qualities, or yes, qualities that a leader should possess to attain success in that organization?
First and foremost for me, that instead of becoming a good boss or a good leader, you try to become a good human first. So if you
Right.
are a good human, if your integrity is in place, if you are honest about what you can do or what you cannot do, if you have your do's and don'ts clear, then it becomes very easier for not only for the team but for the entire organization to grow together. So be a good human first. Your goodness will come out in every step or every action that you take. That is one. And second, have respect, be a dignified leader, give dignity to everyone. It is very important to respect your teammates. If you don't respect them, they will not respect you back. I have learned this from one of my seniors. There were around 2,000 people who used to report to him in my first organization. That time I was very young and very vulnerable. But I could see whenever he used to visit our office, he used to even talk to the PO, the office boys, with the same kind of respect or same kind of honor that he gives to the topmost man. So that is one thing that I have learned. And that leadership quality, like when we are sitting in one conference hall, even if there are 500 people, but it is pinned up silence the moment he opens his mouth. So that is the kind of credibility or the kind of quality that he has demonstrated. And I left that job 10 years back, but I'm still influenced by him. So it's like
All
giving respect, giving honor to everyone from top to bottom. Everyone matters. Everyone counts. We tend to, I have seen people, they just try to flatter or they just try to, impress the seniors or the super seniors or only the decision making people who have the power to make decision. But they tend to ignore those people who are also in the backside, your subordinates, your supporting staff, your office peon, your security guy, your liftman. They also played a very crucial role in your journey. So please give respect to them and you can expect double from them. That is second.
yes,
And third, clarity on vision, you should have, because when you are the team leader, you should have the maximum clarity on the goal, on the target, or on the vision. Then only you can make us see the same kind of vision. The way it is say for films, like the director, it is the director's vision or it is the director's baby. First, it is the director, he sees the film, and then he makes it for the audience to see or witness the same kind of a vision. So the same thing goes for the right kind of a leader, that you need to be very clear about the vision or the goals or the targets that you have kept it for your team. You need to be confident about it. You need to be secure about it. You need to be content about it. Then only you can motivate your team to go and achieve it. If I am not confident about myself, how am I going to sell it to my customers? You tell me. I'll have to be confident, right? I'll have to be content about what I do, what kind of machineries I'm supplying, what kind of service that I'm offering. If I am not confident, how will I convince my team or I'll convince my customers to buy it? So these are the three things.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Jutika, for that very substantial answer to that question. Okay, let's proceed here. This time it's from Sir Bernardino Guevara Jr. He's asking if, after exhausting all your efforts, okay, but still you managed to find that your teammates didn't cooperate, can we blame that to the leader? Is that the fault of the leader or what? What do you think? It's a common notion that once the organization get succeed, then it can be attributed to the leader. On the other hand, when the organization fail, it's because of the kind of leader that an organization has. So, what do you think of this? Be it
I'll
negative or
answer.
positive, it's all the leader's fault.
No, to an extent it is. To an extent, if not whole, but to an extent it is. Being a leader, it is your responsibility to understand your team. Being a leader, it is your responsibility to motivate your teammates. Being a leader,
Yes.
it is your responsibility to extract the best out of your teammates. If you cannot do it, then you are not a good leader. For that, you will have to do double, triple hard work. As Madam has said, you will have to study, study, study. Just read human psyche, read techniques, do that, road mind mapping, use all those tools that we have learned during our management, right? Mind mapping, create the roadmap, have the milestone, influence people, motivate people. We will have to utilize all the tools that we have been exposed to, or we have been, our seniors have also used those tools on us, right? In one or the other time. So you'll have to reutilize them. When you are the leader, it is your responsibility of your team. you know this is how it has been happening. And even if you can't say that it may be the whole and sole fault of the leader, but to an extent it is of course the fault of the leader. If my teammates are not performing, my boss is not going to call that particular teammate, but he is going to ask me, "So, Jyotika, what is the problem? Why is he lagging behind? Why is he not responding well, or why he is not delivering?" So I am answerable for him, right? So that is how that organizational structure is there. That is why we have that pyramid structure of hierarchy, so that everyone is responsible for their own particular team.
Okay, thank you so much.
I just want
Yes,
to
yes.
add, yeah, I just want to add
Yeah,
something. That I think every person is a leader. So
yes.
you are just holding a leadership, a position. And I always say to managers, management is it's loneliness, and people will blame you for everything. And sometimes it's not about you, you know. Sometimes people don't take responsibilities of their action and they will blame you as a manager, so sometimes remove that title, because I think we're holding leader as a title. You're just holding the role. I mean, we're all responsible for our own actions. So sometimes it's not about you as a leader. People are not in a space of taking responsibilities of their actions.
Yes. Thank you so much for that answer. If I may add, wouldn't be a good idea if we call the attention of that uh, subordinates who are not cooperating well? It's a sort of open communication, right? Let's ask them, why are you not cooperating? Despite of exhausting all my effort, but still,
Yeah,
you appear so, uncooperative kind of,
absolutely.
yeah, people. What makes you, I mean, so that's it. All right. We're having a very interactive discussion here. Okay, we've got another one here from Evelyn Wapere, and she is asking to both of you, what strategy can be used to handle an independent colleague in this new normal?
I
Okay.
don't understand independent colleague.
Likewise, I'm trying to internalize I'm contextualize the question, or let's put it this
Someone who
way.
like someone who's working in silos.
No,
Yes,
strong-headed, strong-headed.
let's try to contextualize independent colleague. Colleague is someone who is
Independent colleague
maybe
will stand for
your
strong-headed
coworker,
person.
maybe. Okay, or let's put it this way: independent meaning a kind of employee who is, I think it's almost the same with the first question, who is not following you because he has his own independent world,
Mindset.
independent direction. So how can you handle that in a certain colleague? What strategy are you going to exercise to practice to let that kind of independent colleague follow you in this new normal? Let's put it that way rather.
Mm.
uh, Someone who is hard to control, someone who is having another world.
Yeah, strong-headed person,
Yeah,
That is what we meant by dependence,
Yes,
basically.
yeah,
but I think you managed to answer that one because our questions are like, they are very much interrelated, and we are expounding it over and over again. Okay,
yeah.
let's proceed with another question from Naima Sultan Mem. Okay, she says, while leading others, many people keep saying their problems and boundaries. While guiding them, sometimes I don't find what to say on their problems. At that time, how can I handle the situation so that they don't get discouraged?
Mm.
I would like to answer this.
Okay.
So, as human, whenever someone comes to us and share their problem with us, we by default think that, we have got all the liberty to advise them or suggest them. Whereas most of the time, people just need a, listening ears, with whom they can go, they can just share their problem. Most of the time, by sharing also, we can offload our loads, we can offload our, stress. So it mainly happens with men that I have witnessed. I am not being biased here. Please don't quote me anywhere. But when it comes to like men or my husband, I'll just give an example. If I go and share any problem that I am facing at my office or my work from, he will just jump into giving me advice or suggestion or do this, do that, or he will try to conclude. But then I need to stop and tell him, "Ki, please, I am not looking at any kind of suggestion. I am not looking at any kind of solution. I just want you to hear me out. I just want you to listen to me. Because by sharing, you get, you know, sometimes you get another approach, a new approach altogether to find a way to solutions. So it is not necessary that if somebody is sharing their problems, then you will have to give your solution or you will have to provide them with a solution to it. Sometimes you can just give them a patient listening. You can just give them the space so that they can detox themselves. They can detox their body or their mind, or they can get some more energy, or they can breathe fresh air, and so that they can struggle fresh way, or they can find a new angle or new approach to fight with whatever they are suffering. That is my
Yes.
personal view.
Yes. Very nice answer. But I think going back to Mom Daisy's profound statement: read, 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 and read. That's how you can give advice to other people when they're actually try to share with you their problem, and then you don't have any idea what advice could you give them. It's because you have this very limited experience. So for you to have this knowledge and wisdom, just keep on reading. That way you can share. There's a saying: you cannot give what you don't have. Otherwise, what can you give them if you have this very limited experience, right? So I agree with Mom Daisy. Just keep on reading and reading and reading. That way you could have loads of knowledge and wisdom. All right. We've got another here from Sir Bernardo Guevara Jr. In this time of pandemic, all reports are done online. How about those colleagues without knowledge and technology to comply the reports need? I think this is very, very interesting question. Okay, everything is done online, done on digital. Okay, what about those people who are having a very limited knowledge on technology? How can they comply? How can they comply the reports? As a leader, how can you handle this kind of problem? I think, Ma'am DC, your microphone is on mute.
We are all
Yes.
struggling with, technology, but I think every business was supposed to go back to their strategy to say how are we going to execute the strategy through technology, and people need to be, skilled or upskilled. So if you don't, give your people training, you will struggle with reports. You will struggle with, just putting a meeting together because they will tell you that we don't know, and no one was ready, for this.
Yes.
But I think they need to put together the growth readiness, and go back to the strategy to say how are we going to execute this strategy through technology and upskill people.
Yes.
Some they adapt easily. I'm still struggling, but if we upskill them and if we hold their hands, and say this is how we do it, before the meeting, ask them, log in 10 minutes before meeting and check if your network it's working. It's part of teaching them. So let's be patient with our employees. No one was ready for this, but I think skills and development is very important here.
Yes. So as a leader, you have to capacitate your subordinates on how they could possibly integrate technology in their, in their work, office works. All right. So do you have your own take, Ma'am Jutika?
Mm, No, this is, I strongly support whatever Madam Daisy has said. And, as I've already shared the example of the school teachers, the old, who have 2, 3 years of retirement left, still adapted, still learn technologies. I have also learned many things about the digital world. So this is all about training. This is all about being
Yes.
patient. It's all about, being accommodating, or it is all about, giving your helping hand towards your subordinates or team. If they are lagging behind, just help them, support them, and uplift them. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So we agree on that. All right. All right. So we've got another one here from Ian Roy Balmosena. To both of you, how are we going to deal with this time? We're going to discuss about ineffective leader, biased leader. Who's going to answer first?
I'm going back to, can we just remove this leader and focus more on the human? Uh,
Yes,
because it
yes,
takes a character. We can't change who you are, and we are not robots. You can't
yes,
change when you get to work. It's your
yes,
character. So this person, they must unpack what is your responsibility, how are you leading people, how are you managing people. And it's time now as businesses to invest in leadership development. I mean, Jutika is here to give that support or to offer those services. We are here to offer
yes,
those services. Leadership and development is part of strategy execution, because I was not born to lead people. They need to develop me, they need to guide me, coach me, mentor
yes,
me. I don't believe in effective leader, biased leader, but I'm saying as businesses, let's invest in a strategy execution, leadership development, succession plan strategy is very important. When you promote people, you need to know if they are ready, emotionally and mentally, because sometimes we promote people because they have been in the business for a long time, but maybe they don't want to lead people, and maybe they don't want to be promoted. So I think we need to put a growth readiness together to say, are you ready? Here's the position. Are you ready mentally? Are you ready emotionally? Because this is
yes.
what you're going to face. Let's prepare people to lead personalities.
Yes. So this is a real manifestation that leaders are not born; they are being made. Right. All right. We've got
Correct.
another one here. We've got lots of questions here from our live audience. From Marife Verdeflor Olojan or Olohan. In the Philippines, we usually pronounce J as H. How to lead people who thought they know a lot of things, but what can you see are different from what they said?
Interesting one, Judika.
Yeah. Who's going to answer first? Okay.
Sure, and I would like Judika to add on my answer. And again, people are tough. And let me talk about millennials. Millennials are
Yes.
very challenging human beings. They think they know everything,
Yes. Yes.
and there are programs that I do, for the universities, I mean students, just to prepare them to the workspace. So I call the program the work readiness, to say when you start work, be ready to take constructive feedback. Be
Yes.
ready to listen. Because on this statement, people don't listen. And I will say to Marife, don't be insecure. If people think they know more than you, it's okay, and because experience is priceless. Experience is what you went through. I have 19 years experience in HR, and I'm very confident about what I know. So if you engage with me and you know that you think that you know more than me, it's okay. I will listen, but you'll never take what I know away, because I went through this journey. I cried. I had to learn from influence leaders. So I would say, listen, if they think they know better than you, that's okay. That will never take away the fact that you are in that position and you are there to give them instructions. Don't be
Yes.
insecure.
Yes. And it depends on how you, I mean, see the situation. If it's going to be a threat or opportunity.
Yeah.
If it's an opportunity, so that's an asset on your part. So
Yeah.
you befriend him or her, and then keep on motivating them because it will give lots of contributions to your company, to your office, because he knows a lot or she knows a lot. So that's an asset.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on how you
Mm-hmm.
see the people. But if it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
threat on your part, and then that's another thing. Simple as that. All right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. So how about you, Ma'am Jutika? What is your take?
So my take is that this is a very common problem when it comes to
Yes.
the next generations. With this upcoming generation, this is a quite common things that we have been facing in every year or with every new recruit and all. So, being a very accommodative person, I believe in giving them space and try them. If they feel they know everything, so I give them the space to give the presentation or interact with the client. Because what I feel that reality is reality. You can't ignore it or you can't avoid it. So whenever the reality will bite, he or she will automatically get to know where does he stands. So sometimes it is not always my responsibility to correct him or show him the reality, but it is better to face it by themselves so that they understand where they stand and they understand how much they need to upgrade themselves or how much they need to change their perception about themselves. So as
All
we say,
right.
reality is the main guru, right? This is how we are going to learn it. If you think you know everything, well and good, go present it, make the client, handle him, and I will make sure so that I place him or her in front of the most difficult client. And it will hardly take one or two meetings for them to understand where they stand. They will automatically come back to you. They will seek help. They will read more. They will do more R&D. They will do more SWOT analysis or more readings.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
that is how constructive way we can.
Absolutely.
Yes, precisely. Thank you for that very insightful answer, Ma'am Jutika. And we've got another one here. I think you were able to answer this question earlier. Our questions are somewhat like redundant. Have you not noticed? Okay, so what do you think? We have to proceed with another question, or you would like to?
This has
Like,
already been answered.
yes, yes. Okay. So, what does this mean? All right. Okay, so it looks like we've covered all those questions submitted to us by our live audience. We're having a very, very substantial discussion here. We've got lots of questions here. Okay, bombarded to our speakers for tonight. Okay, so I think, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another fruitful webinar tonight. So, may I ask you guys to show your appreciation to our speakers tonight? All right. Yes, on behalf of the Institute of Global Professionals, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to our speaker, Ma'am Juteka Mahanta, all the way from India, and Ma'am Daisy Lifiana, all the way from South Africa. All right, let's all give them a virtual round of applause for taking time off of their busy schedules
Thank
and join
you.
us for tonight's webinar. All right. We hope that you have gained considerable insight into our discussion on the journey to lead yourself and others to success. All right. To our live audience tonight, we appreciate your keen interest in this webinar. Your time and active participation is much appreciated. Again, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow for another webinar series. Gafor in Panibang here saying, let's continue learning, keep safe always. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless. Thank you so much.
Okay, so can we now start leaving the studio? Okay, by the way, we are now showing you the code of your e-verified certificate. That's IGP 3745. I repeat, that's IGP 3745 for the certificate code. All right. So that's the code that you have to use in downloading your e-certificate for tonight's webinar. The title of tonight's program is The Journey to Lead Yourself and Others to Success. That's exactly the name of the program that you have to find out once you get into our website and use this code. That's again IGP 3745 in downloading your e-certificate. Again, thank you for joining us for tonight's webinar. God bless.